The Orange County housing market is starting to heat up again now that all of the holiday and New Year's celebrations are behind us. During the first few months of the year, the housing market typically heats up as a result of many more buyers entering the market at a faster rate than the total supply of available homes for sale increases. And so in this video, we're going to get into all the details and break that down for you so you understand why the housing market typically heats up during this time of year. We're also going to be covering the median home price in Orange County, as well as quickly touching on interest rates and several other things that affect the housing market. So if you like to stay up to date and you enjoy watching this video, I would appreciate it if you hit the like button below and subscribe to the channel. We put out an Orange County housing market update once a month. We also do a median home price update once a month for all of Southern California, and we post videos on a variety of real estate related topics. If you're thinking about buying or selling a home in Southern California, feel free to call, text, or email me anytime. I'm more than happy to answer any of your questions and help out in any way that I can. If you're located elsewhere, you can also reach out to me, and I would be happy to refer you to an experienced agent in your area. First, I wanted to quickly talk about mortgage rates because they're one of the primary drivers of the housing market today. One of the main reasons we saw such huge price appreciation, throughout the second half of 2020 through the first half of 2022 was because we had historically low mortgage rates during that time period. So today, interest rates sit at 6.45% as of February 7th. And if you look at this graph, you can see that interest rates were actually, and this is on the 30-year fixed rate mortgage, by the way, interest rates actually got above 7% back in November of 2022 and actually dropped all the way back down to just below 6% at the start of February 2023. And you better believe that buyers are keeping a very close eye on interest rates because this is something that really impacts how much money they end up paying for the home. Even if they purchase the same priced home, if the interest rate is higher, they'll end up paying a lot more money for that home over the life of the loan. And as the interest rate comes down, it becomes much more affordable for them to purchase. So, even if you're thinking about selling a home, it is still important to keep an eye on interest rates because this is going to drive buyer demand. And, as interest rates drop, more buyers will be incentivized to enter into the housing market. And if interest rates rise, that may cause some buyers to take a step back, which would typically be a slowing factor on the housing market. And now we're going to be looking at buyer demand to help explain why the housing market typically heats up so quickly during the first few months of the year. And this graph that we're currently looking at is the expected market time. So this is essentially the average number of days it takes to sell a home in Orange County. And so just to help you understand what this graph means, as the expected market time drops, that means homes are selling faster and the housing market is heating up. And as the expected market time rises, that means houses are selling slower, and typically that means the market is cooling off. And so you can see that this year, during the first few weeks, the housing market is heating up as the expected market time is dropping. And you can also see in comparison to past years that is common, as we follow a typical housing cycle. And so to explain why the expected market time is dropping, first we're going to look at buyer demand. And so you can see on this graph that buyer demand has increased substantially over the past few weeks. And you can see that it's very normal for buyer demand to be increasing at a very fast rate through the spring. It typically peaks somewhere in around April. And so we currently do have low buyer demand compared to those years, but it is a good sign that it is increasing at a very fast rate. Now, some of the things that are inhibiting buyer demand from being higher than it is today is that we have a lack of available homes for sale. I'll be showing you that shortly. And the interest rates are higher, which has impacted affordability. And so Stephen Thomas doesn't believe that we're going to get, a surge or a much more normal level of buyer demand until interest rates get back down to about 5.5%. And by the way, Stephen Thomas, he's the author of the Orange County Housing Report, which is where we get these graphs and some of our information for these videos. And so next up, we're looking at supply, which is the total number of homes for sale in Orange County. Now, typically, the supply of homes for sale does start to increase during the first few months of the year, although supply typically grows at a slower rate than demand, which is why the housing market heats up. And you can see this year we're actually following something much closer to 2021, where the supply of available homes for sale didn't grow at all. In fact, it actually dropped slightly over the past few weeks. And the primary reason that we don't have a growing supply of homes right now is because we have a lot less homes being listed for sale than is common during these months. And the reason they're not being listed for sale is because a lot of homeowners have locked in extremely low fixed rate mortgages. So if they want to make a move and sell their home, they'd be trading in that very low interest rate for a much higher interest rate, and their housing costs would increase substantially. So again, Stephen Thomas doesn't really expect us to get a lot more homes, a much more normal level of homes coming on the market until interest rates get back down to that 5.5% range, which is much more manageable for people. So let's wrap this up by talking about how you can use and apply this information if you're thinking about buying or selling a home in Orange County. So for home sellers, it's important to realize that despite the fact that the housing market is heating up, we're really still not seeing much home value appreciation, if any at all. So when you're thinking about how you're going to price your home, it's extremely important to price it correctly according to the comparable sales in your neighborhood. And the reason being because buyers really aren't paying much more, if any at all, over the last comparable sale, of course, adjusting for the condition of your home. And so if you're curious in learning what your home might sell for in today's market, you can call or text me anytime. My personal cell phone number is 714-486-4086. I'm more than happy to provide you with information, and I can even stop by and take a look at your home in person to give you the most accurate estimate. And if you're thinking about buying a home in this market, it's important to realize that your chances of getting a lowball offer accepted are extremely low. Now that the market has heated back up some, sellers really aren't in panic mode anymore doing these huge price reductions or accepting offers well below what the fair market value of the home is. Now, if you are a buyer, the good news is you do have a little bit more room to negotiate. You can get some of the terms and conditions in your offer accepted that you maybe couldn't have back in 2021 and throughout the first half of 2022 when the market was extremely competitive. So you can have, make sure you have all of your contingencies in place, the proper inspections and timelines to make sure you're comfortable buying the home and its current condition. And so just to quickly wrap up, I also just wanted to quickly touch on the median home price in Orange County. And there is some good news there. The median home price for residential single-family residence, condos, and townhomes back in December of 2022 was at $935,000. And in January 2023, that actually increased to $950,000, which is a 1.6% increase. Now, I've talked about this in previous videos, but median home price really isn't the best way to determine if home values in general are going up or down. For example, the median home price can increase just based on the fact that people are deciding to buy larger homes, more expensive homes. It doesn't necessarily mean that the value of homes are increasing in general. So that wraps it up. Like I said before, if you enjoyed watching this, please like the video and subscribe to the channel if you'd like to stay up to date on the housing market. If you would like to read the most recent Orange County Housing Report by Stephen Thomas, just let me know. I can send you his report. He does a really great job talking about what's going on in the housing market in Orange County and across Southern California. And we found that over the years, he has been, very accurate in what he's been talking about and what he expects to happen.